Dice. Rolls. Dragons. Trolls.
Adventurous.
Quick shout out to Abel
from Canada.
Yep, he's 10 years old, and he sent us our second
piece of fan art.
We did, which is super awesome. We're going to post it on social media if people want to go check it out.
Super excited. Thank you, Abel.
And if anyone else wants to send us more fan art, we think it's awesome. So thank you. Welcome back to
Dadventurous Emotional Edition.
Maybe the ultimate episode.
Oh, yeah.
I believe. As far as the main campaign is concerned, I think this might be it. And so, before we start, what were your thoughts on the whole thing?
The whole campaign?
Yeah, it's been a year.
It was very fun and funny. I liked all of the magic and the characters and the world, even though you made me cry.
Only once. No big deal.
But I liked it.
Good.
I loved it.
And
all the fun and the stuff.
Good, because we're going to keep going with more stuff.
And more fun.
Nope, this is it. I think I'm done with fun. Yep.
What?
Next season,
but what
pure drama.
But what happened to the yellow choices?
No yellow choices. There will only be evil choices. No, I'm just kidding. But are you ready to jump in now to the story? Because I think we just go for it.
No recap?
I mean, we'll do a minor recap.
Okay.
Last week, you made your way into the tower. What kind of stuff did you learn? You can tell me. It made you feel feelings.
Didn't make me feel feelings. I went through the tower and learned that Theodora was alive 310 years ago at least.
That's true.
Before the surge. And we learned that she's been working on this big tower for a long time. And she had a daughter once.
She did.
And she was also working on kind of the same magic project.
Before there was past world tech, before the land you know existed.
Mm-hmm.
What was she doing? I suppose we'll find out now.
Can I voice my theory that I have?
Yes, of course. Tell the world.
Oh, dear.
All couple dozen to 100 of them.
So, my personal theory is that Theodora caused the surge. The original surge. The magic surge that did all the magic-y bits.
That broke the world?
Yeah. I think she did it. She's trying to do it again. Reversed.
Yeah, maybe. And that is where we're going to jump right in to this episode. You watch as a giant pink fluffy fist slams into your chest, knocks the wind out of you, flies you backward 15 feet as a firework explodes into your chest, and the wild magic crazy unicorn is released. As you are knocked back, you see... Yeah, it neighs awfully. And you see those 6 pillars around this machine are sending out like a pink, purple, black magic charge that seems to be attached to the unicorn. It seems to be a creation of wild magic craziness.
Is the unicorn artifact gone from the pillar?
No, it's still there. So this is like a projection. This is like a creation of craziness. And it started to attack. So the very first thing we are going to do this episode is, please, roll initiative.
21.
21.
You gave me the alert feed.
Also last week, ran up to Theodora, dodged one of her attacks, and managed to restrain her.
She cannot move.
But...
until her turn, which she can make a strength saving throw to see if she can move.
Yes, so as of now, we are jumping into initiative. You just got hit, you did your restraining thing, now we're in initiative. You see, again, this tower, circular tower, big machine in the middle. It's charging up, and as you look up, the pipes kind of above you, they're 10, 20 feet up to the top of this wall, this rounded, almost like an arena you're
Yeah.
in, is pumping out that black, purpley, wild magic smoke into the air. And it is your turn.
Okay, and Theodora said, take care of that thing, and then we might talk.
Hmm?
I'm assuming she was pointing to the
Yeah,
unicorn.
it was a little bit of a threat. It was a little bit of a good luck. See what you can do. While she is furiously still doing stuff on the machine, and you see, again, she was basically trying to pump wild magic, whatever,
into her.
She's got these things that she thinks control the storms. It's causing these clouds, these puffy clouds of wild magic to be focused, and she is essentially trying to turn herself magical.
So, how close is the unicorn?
15 feet from you. You just got knocked back. You got punched 15 feet away. And it is about 15 feet in front of Theodora. It is definitely guarding her.
Okay. I have my Golden Watch of Speed activated. Okay, so I'm going to, since that unicorn has disadvantage on attacks against me, I am going to try and dash past it. Well, not dash, sorry. Move past it.
Okay.
Towards Theodora.
So you're running, so it's going to make its attack of opportunity on you at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. I'm a speedy giddy.
I think it hits.
What?
Base level 17.
Oh.
I got pretty good on my rolls for once. A tee-hee-hee. It hits you with its attack.
Poof.
17, so you take...
Wait, does it push me toward Theodora?
You're going to find out because different things are different with its attacks.
Oh.
You take 8 more damage. And can you please roll another D8 for me because this is on every one of its attacks.
That hurts. 4. Wait, that's the one I got last time.
Yeah.
Do I need to reroll?
No.
Okay.
Same effect. In this case, goes to punch you. Sparkling hand attack charges up and you get hit. I'm going to say you get pushed back 15 feet. I'm going to say since it successfully hit you, you do not make progress towards Theodora. You are hit sideways.
Ah, okay.
Okay? And so you are hit sideways, and you are needing to roll to see if you are knocked prone. So can you make a strength saving throw?
A strength?
Yep.
Oh, you didn't have me do that last time.
No, it was kind of outside of
Okay.
combat last time.
Oh no, a 10.
And so you are knocked prone. Technically, you could use the rest of your movement.
I am
stand
going
up.
to use that
Okay.
to stand up.
So you are knocked prone, but you had only used half your movement. So you stand up. You can't get closer to her on your turn, but you have a ranged weapon.
Can I move away?
No, you just lost
Okay.
all your movement.
So I'm
Because you're
basically...
30 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you still have attacks. You just have a bow.
Oh, right.
Attack, spells, whatever. You just use
So-
your movement.
Is it a physical thing that's in her arm? That she's stuck into her arm? Is it physical?
Yeah? What do you
Or
mean
is
by
it magic?
Oh,
Like, is it
oh.
incorporeal?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's a physical thing that you can see.
Okay, this is going to be very hard, but I'm going to try and hit that. Not her
Okay.
specifically, but that.
Hit that.
The little
It's going to have a
pipe thing.
high AC, basically,
Mm-hmm.
because that is a very small, specific thing in her arm, and she's now roughly 25 feet away from you.
I want to try it, though.
Okay. Give it up.
21?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
But you can hit her.
I don't want to hit her.
Okay. Here's your choices. Going for that's going to be tough. Going for Theodora, quite a bit easier. There's also just damaging the machine.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
So your 21 would not hit that thing.
So second attack,
Mhm.
I'm going to aim at one of her little monitors.
One of the parts of the machine?
Yeah.
Okay. The rest of it, I'm going to say it's not really specific. It's just stuff.
24?
That definitely hits the machine.
Okay, for 8.
8
Piercing
damage.
damage.
Okay. You start whittling away. You sink an arrow in. It goes into one of her monitors. She kind of glares at you with angry eyes.
But she can't do anything to
But
me.
she can't. Well, she
she
can't
can't move.
towards you, exactly. She might not have been moving anyway, but she can't run away either. Okay.
Suppose I should have pushed her away before I did that, but...
Well, yeah, she's restrained. It's all right. The thing, the giant thing, the 20-foot tall unicorn
Nick!
does not like that you are targeting its creator. And so it turns, it looks towards you, it lowers its unicorn horn.
Isn't that squishy?
And we'll find out, won't we?
Oh, no.
And gets down on all fours and rushes its chunky pink fluffy body towards you. You see its little fluff flopping from side to side. And it does a surge charge towards you.
Oh.
As it charges, the horn lights up with wild magic and starts like glowing. And it's going to run towards you. And as you hit, because it moved enough, you need to make another strength saving throw.
Terrible at strengths. Huh, not bad actually. 16?
That does not succeed.
Not again.
And you are,
terrible at
it's
strength.
keeping you away from her. And you are knocked prone and pushed back 10 feet.
Again?
And as you're doing that, we're going to say a beam of light flashes out towards you.
Wait, so it just hit me?
It just hits you. It's not doing damage. It's just a push attack.
Okay.
And pushes you back, knocks you prone. And then this beam shoots out. Can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Okay, that's better. 17?
17, you're fine. It was trying to blind your vision, but you're able to look away quick enough, and it does not work. It is now using the rest of its movement to stand over the top of it.
Just looming.
Yep.
Takes
That's
after
its turn.
Czar.
Flibbit's like, okay, here we go. And he is going to cast Bless
Oh!
on... He's going to move towards you, and he's going to cast it on everyone but himself.
But himself?
Yep.
Oh.
Or wait, he can do 4. Never mind. He casts it on everybody.
Yay!
So, he casts it on you, Gunther, Czar, and himself. You can add a d4 to attack rolls and saving throws from here
That's
on
good.
out unless Flibbit gets hurt. Okay, Flibbit's turn is over. He moves, he's about halfway between you. In the middle of the rounds here, the tower charges up again. And you see Theodora punches in a thing. It charges one more time, and again, more wild magic clouds of storm and everything poof out from the top of the tower. You see yet another. You see Theodora reaching for her daughter. Her daughter was running across this thing. The machine, it's weird because it's also working right now, but you're seeing a vision of it too. It's overlaid on top of each other. It looks unstable. It looks like something was going wrong. And you see her go to reach out to grab her daughter and go for that, like a hug. Again, big flash. Oof. And at this time, as the flash fades away, we see the top of this tower. The machine exploded into pieces,
Oh.
and Theodora standing there alone.
Ah.
And it is Gunther's turn. Gunther yells out, he's like, "Look what you're doing, Theodora! Look around you! This isn't redemption! It's just your guilt! You can't keep doing this!" And she spits back, "You think I haven't tried to let go?" Wait, sorry. "You think I haven't tried to let go? 3 centuries, Gunther. 300 years of emptiness. Gone because of me. I can't live with that. I won't." And so, Gunther is going to roll a dice.
It's going to roll dice?
He's going to roll a persuasion check on himself.
Oh!
Because in this moment, he sees a woman and her daughter, and what she did maybe caused something to happen to that daughter. He looks at you, and he decides whether talking is what needs to happen right now. You see Gunther shake his head. "I'm sorry, but I can't let you continue. I can't let your guilt hurt the people I care about." You're going to see Gunther, he's going to punch his fists together and light up that arcane thing. He is going to take a chunk of this like blue sort of gem-looking thing,
Oh.
and he's going to crack it in his gauntlets so it's
Oh.
cracked, and he throws it at the machine. This is his version of casting Shatter, because
Ooh.
Shatter does extra damage
Nice.
against metal things. So he's still not exactly targeting her, but he does target the machine. I believe,
Does have a radius if he's targeting near her.
yeah, it just says, it. Yes. Ooh. So it fails. So he's going to do many d8s. Math. Gunther does 19 damage.
Ooh.
And as he does this damage to this machine, you see the unicorn standing in front of you also waver in power. They seem to be connected. Czar, he has a turn. He looks at you and he goes, "You're fine." And then he is going to...
Wait, what?
Yep. And then he is going to activate his hammer. It glows, and he is going to charge at Theodora.
Figures. Leave me to deal with a giant unicorn.
Yeah.
Takes after you, Czar. The unicorn.
The unicorn? He pauses and looks at you. Ow!
It's really great at looming.
Ah, thanks. And then he runs over, and he gets right up next to Theodora, and he points at her with his hammer, and he goes,
I trusted you, and because of that, you nearly destroyed me. It's time to return the favor.
And so he raises his weapon, and he goes for an advantaged hit. 15 on the dice. Definitely hits with the 21.
Ooh.
And he does terrible damage, but 9 damage to Theodora. And she kind of winces, and she flinches back, but she's still connected. The vine's still holding her in place. It is now her turn.
Do you... Oh. Can you please roll d6?
Was there damage associated? Mm-hmm. A 6.
Oh, 6. Okay, you take 6 damage.
6 more damage. Okay.
And you use your action to make the strength saving throw.
Okay.
Use your action if you want to. She can also probably remain...
I was going to say, I believe she is going to stay put because she was going to stay put anyway.
She's also taking damage right now.
By staying in it?
Yeah. She takes damage at each of her turns.
Okay, you see her look at the restraints around her, look at what's going on, and she says out loud, kind of to herself, kind of to everybody, "This is my only chance. If I can control it, I can understand it. Maybe I can rewrite what happened." And she looks down at the thing in her arm, and she dials something on the keyboard and punches it in again, and she just holds her hand out to Czar, and you see the machine charge up, surging through all these different past world tech items, everything coming through a wire into her arm, and she hits him with basically a spell of Shocking Grasp.
Oh.
And she is of the higher level, and this one's a little juiced up. So she gets 20 damage
Woo!
on Czar, who he's doing all right. He definitely was taking some damage already, but he, believe it or not, has a lot of hit points. He is down a little bit, and he cannot take reactions on his turn as the shock powers through him. Yep. Top of the round. Your turn. You have a unicorn looming over the top of you once more, looking down at you going, "Nay."
So that was so I shout to Theodora, "You can't rewrite 300 years of history, Theodora. You just can't. It's too... Think of the consequences."
She looks at you angrily. She kind of snaps.
What do you think I've been thinking about for 300 years? The consequences of my actions. Well, now I have a chance to fix it.
I meant the consequences to the world.
The world is less important.
What you got?
Is that the limit of my dialogue?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
It's supposed to kind of be limited.
On my next turn, I want to psych her out at all. Okay. I'm going to take 2 swipes.
Okay. Wipe it up.
At this giant unicorn in front of me.
Yeah.
First, a stab from the fork knife for 26.
That hits.
And 8.
Damage?
Piercing damage.
8 damage to the unicorn.
And a swipe from the spoon sword for 18 to hit.
Also hits.
And 7.
7
Slashing
more damage. As you slash into this thing down low at its feet where you're slashing because you're short, you see exiting out of your slash wounds more of that wild magic mist. And it's just slowly depleting this thing.
Kia gasps and thinks to herself, it's not filled with stuffing.
Different kind of stuffing. It is now the unicorn's turn unless
wait.
you want to move or bonus action.
I'm going to use my bonus action to make another attack.
Oh, right, with your offhand. Yeah.
For 16?
16 does hit.
Yay! For 6 damage.
For 6 damage to the monster in front of you.
Nay!
And Nays, it looks down, it shakes its head back and forth, and it is going to take its 2 fluffy fists and take a double slam multi-attack against you straight down.
Wait, does it have fists? Or does it have hooves?
Well, it's like a stuffed animal. It's just rounded.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like a rounded nub. So if it wasn't so weird and unstable looking, it'd probably be adorable, but it's kind of awful. It is going to make its attacks against you. Only 1 attack each round gets the wild magic thing. First one misses. Second one becomes a 19.
That does hit. 19
hit. So you take 10 damage. And can you roll another d8 for me?
I'm not doing so hot.
You got items, you got Flibbit.
D8?
Yep.
7.
A 7. Okay. Can you please make a wisdom saving throw?
My wisdom isn't too good. 15.
Dang it. That's exactly what you needed. As it hit downward, you feel the desire. You almost wanted to shrink down. That hit almost wanted to like force you down, and you feel this wave of wild magic come over you. And for a second, you felt just a little bit like you could feel a connection to Pinchy the Crab as a polymorph crab into a crab spell tried to get cast on you, but you were managed to wisdom save yourself out of it, and
out
you
of
bring
being
yourself
a crab.
back up into normal form.
All right.
Yep.
It would be fun to be a crab.
Yep. And now Flibbit is looking at you. He's like, "Oh boy, you doing bad?"
Yeah.
Okay, he rushes over, and he's going to do his last larger cure wounds. Oh, that, my friend, is 21 health back to you.
Ooh.
As he rolled
Thank you
super
so much,
big.
Flibbit.
No problem. And he's going to stay put too because now he flew in to touch you, which means he is next to the Dinocorn. Unicorn, the Magicorn. And it is now the device's turn. And again, another push out. As another surge. They are getting faster. They feel like they are getting stronger. On this one, you see it flashes out and you hear outside Glaciera screech and you hear magic explosions, and there's just like, you see coming from the tower and surging down the outside of the tower away from you guys are these more beetles. They are clearly in a big fight outside as well. You see reality almost like warping, and again you notice that this time it's not so much a memory that you see, but Theodora herself, it's almost like she's shifting between 2 locations.
Oh.
And so she's like in your restraints and then not in your restraints, and you see her, a difference between her standing there, the thing in her arm, typing on the machine, to being about 10 feet away on her knees, her just like weeping, and it's just flashing back and forth, and you can see she sees it too, and she just says, "No, not this time. It's different this time." And she like punches some stuff in, and the vision goes away. But reality is warping. Things are becoming chaotic. Gunther gets a turn. He goes, "Theodora, you're not doing this for her. You're doing this for yourself." And she goes, "Yeah, okay." And she goes, he goes, "You're just trying to ease your guilt. In the meantime, you're dragging everyone down with you. and he is going to rush over to the machine. He's still focusing on the machine. He still has a hard time helping fight her specifically because he's Gunther, but he is going to thunder wave the machine. He's going to start using up his stuff. And so Gunther rears back and boom, as he does another 13 damage to the machine itself. She's getting more and more furious. You're watching the unicorn like fade in and out, almost kind of struggle keeping together. As Gunther does damage to the machine, another crack in the unicorn opens up and more wild magic pours out.
Oh, I used my lightning arrow on the dragon, didn't I?
Yes. You have other ones, though.
I do.
And it is Czar's turn. Czar can't use his reactions, but he just stands up and he looks at Gunther and he just goes back and does the thing that he does. And he's going to take 2 swings on Theodora. Rolls terribly for damage again. Czar, come on, man. But he still does. He still did 9 damage.
Oh,
it's not
that's
like
pretty good.
it's just low for him. Okie dokie. It's Theodora's turn.
She can make... Okay, first of all, roll a d6.
6 again.
6 more damage.
Okay.
And she can make a strength saving throw if she wants, but she would have to use up her action to do it.
Okay. So instead, you see Theodora reach into her pouch at her belt. She pulls out an air horn, points it at herself. No, like one of the compressed air ones.
Oh!
Points it at herself, hits her in the face with a blast of air. You see her hair whip back
Does it
behind
make a
her.
noise?
It does make no noise.
Oh.
And the hair, it's like it made a noise or it made a whoosh of air. She hits it to that, and you see her start to blur fastly. She has cast haste on herself. And so she did that, and then now she's going to use the second action that haste provides to get out of.
Attempt to get out.
And because she has her reactions once per day, she's going to use something called Flash of Genius. Allows her to get +4 on an ability check or saving throw.
Oh.
And so,
It's a strength.
strength saving throw, she does not have high strength. 16 + 4 is a 20.
Yes.
Perfect.
The vines wither away.
She withers out of them.
Wait, what?
Yep, or they wither away. She has Czar right next to her, and she is going to reach down, detach the wire from like a base of the machine so it's longer, and rush to move away from Czar.
Okay. Backs away from the machine.
Backs like
Around.
she like backs around the machine. She's still connected. She's just kind of getting back away from Czar a little bit. Top of the round, it is you.
Okay. I shout to her. Would she have wanted you to do this?
Oh, brutal. Brutal. Mean.
I was
I love it.
trying to think if I wanted to psych her out. I did this to Zara
Can
once
you
too.
please roll? I'm going to give you the option of persuasion or intimidation. And I will say, she did not roll well.
They're the same.
So it's your
I'm
choice.
going to do persuasion.
Okay.
12.
You got a 9. You see... How do I want to handle this? It doesn't quite have the effect you were thinking. With Czar, it gave him pause and he felt bad. As you say... What did you say again? Would she have wanted you to do that?
Yeah.
As you say that, she says, It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what she would have wanted because she's not here anymore. Don't you see? I have to do this. And I will say that because of that, on her turn, I'm going to say she loses an action.
So she still has an action.
She still has an action, but
not 2 actions.
it's just not quite the effect you were thinking of.
Okay. Now it's my actions, my attacks.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So, would Kia know that cold can mess with machinery?
I mean, not specifically, like, you know that cold and lightning seem to work well on scrapers.
Yeah. Okay.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I think as far as what is happening with this machine, you don't really know.
She's gonna go on a hunch and is going to pull out her elemental cold arrow
Nice.
and knock it in her bow as her first attack. And I got a non-natural 20 to hit on the machine.
Nice. Okay. Can you please roll for damage your arrow damage and then 2d8 cold damage?
Okay, so arrow is 13 piercing damage
Okay.
for the arrow, and then 2d8.
2d8 cold damage. As the arrow hits the machine, right? We'll say it pierces through one of the wires connecting some of the Passworld tech stuff, and ice and frost just...
15 cold
Whoa,
damage.
28 damage that round.
That was just my first attack.
And I will say, great use of an arrow. Now's the time. Use up your stuff. So,
Okay.
that's your first attack.
Can I do a bonus action in between my attacks?
Yeah.
Bonus action for probably the last time. Tap that little airplane pin.
Yep, and I like to think that as you tap it this time with all the memories and wild magic surge stuff going on, you tap it, it glows, and the cloak of the rummager that was also once Tilda's kind of glows with an extra source of magic as you tap the pin and activate 2 of the things she once wore herself.
I do not provoke opportunity attacks now.
No, you do not.
So, I am going to rush over
You can go underneath or around the unicorn.
underneath.
Sweet.
Slide in between the legs and go towards not Theodora herself, but where she was, in that monitor section.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to take my second attack. Can I use my sword?
Yeah. So you running over, you throw the bow over your shoulder,
And
you whip out the spoon sword.
And you said she's attached to a wire
She is
into the
indeed.
machine.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and slice that.
Okay. Can you please make your attack against this thing? As she sees you
Now that
do
I'm close.
that, she yells. She goes, "No, I'm in control. Don't touch it."
Pretty sure I hit, but
There is a different
23.
Okay, there is a different type of DC happening here, but you did clear it. Go ahead. You go to slash it.
Slash.
It's cables and like a tube pumping like cloudy magic through it.
9 damage.
9 damage. You slash into this thing, 9 damage, and you see it cleave through. Theodora screams out in anger, in pain, and as you cleave through it, you need to roll for me on the D100 wild magic table.
Oh, 'cause I'm next to
probably
it.
one last time as well.
34.
34. As magic starts pumping out into this. Wow, so fitting. It says fog. We are going to say wild magic cloud.
Oh.
Storm cloud, purpley magic cloud seeps out from this tube. This one says from the ground, but I'm changing it.
Okay.
And in a flash, everything within 20 feet radius of your position is obscured vision. You cannot see in that area. It has become...
Does it move with me?
No, it's...
Oh.
It's because of the like localized... I mean, it's kind of perfect. It was fog seeps up from the ground, but I'm changing it
Okay.
to wild magic cloud fog fills this area, and you are in it. That's what happens on that attack.
I'm hidden.
You are hidden. Theodora is in that with you.
Double-edged
Yep, I'm just letting
fog.
you know. Are you? And that's your whole turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your bonus, you double action, you moved?
Yep.
Okay. The unicorn is going to turn and see a cloud, unsure what to do, and just turn around and look at Gunther. Wow. Double miss.
Oh.
Goes to punch down on Gunther. You see Gunther kind of activate just a little bit of... I like to think he's got a little bit of tricks up his sleeve still. And so...
Tricks up his shell.
Tricks up his shell, and he is able to just kind of shift to the side and activate just a little bit of kind of like a mirror image type thing where he shifts himself as a reaction type thing. That's just me flavoring him not getting hit. Flibbit's turn. He surveys the room.
Yeah, he's kind of just been
He's
sitting
gonna
nearby.
while he's healing. That's
Yeah.
all he can. That's all he's feeling. He's like, Zar, are you doing okay? Zar's like, leave me alone. And he looks at you and he's like, what about you, Kia? Anything I can do to help?
I'm finer.
Well, I'm going to send you one anyway. And he's going to throw out a long-range healing word, just base level, as a thing.
I have one spell slot left.
And he is coming down to the end of his as well. He does, however, roll pretty good. He gives you 9 healing back.
Ooh, yay! I'm officially 1 point up from when I started last episode.
Nice. As it is now the machine's turn. The machine's pumping out that cloud nearby you. It normally was charging up. It starts charging up again to like release this stuff into the atmosphere. It works its way along the tube. It was supposed to kind of go into this person, go into this tube. Something has gone wrong. It comes to this charge of electricity, comes to this end, this purple electricity, and it shorts.
Oh.
And it starts breaking apart the machine, and chunks fly off. But at the same time, you see wild magic surge into the unicorn, and more pieces are falling apart, and everything's starting to look a little bit more unstable. There's just a low rumble happening all the time now. Gunther's turn, ignores the unicorn. He's going to target the machine. He sees what's going on, and he's just going to keep going, doing his thing. He hits once for 11 damage against the machine. And as he does that, he just kind of yells out. He's like, Kia, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, stay safe.
You too.
I don't want to lose you. And then it is Zar's turn. And he goes, oh, suck it up. And then he just rushes forward, and you just hear combat with the unicorn. And so Zar charges in. He has no interest in your emotions.
Like totally ignoring all the like family stuff that's going on.
Does 16 more damage to this unicorn out in the world. Things are starting to become more unstable. The unicorn getting beat up means the machine is slowly getting beat up. You see you're standing next to one of the pillars up high with, we'll say, the cap on it, that baseball cap. It is glowing with wild magic energy. Things are getting crazy and unstable.
Okay.
It is Theodora's turn.
She is also in the fog.
She is, but she knows where you were.
That's true.
So suddenly, an old lady with a crazy look in her eyes appears out of the fog next to you, and she says, you think you're better than me? You failed too. I just had the misfortune of my failure being world-ending, but I can fix it, and I can fix you. And she reaches into her belt. She pulls out a little socket wrench. She flips it around in her hand, and then she is going to cast on you. You see it turn up. It glows kind of green. It gets coated with this kind of green material, and this is her acid attack as she hits this towards you for a 26 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
11 acid damage.
Thank goodness for Flippet, who healed me.
And she has haste. She's going to reach over to the machine and start punching some more things in and hit another button. And another one of those waves goes to push you back.
Wait,
push people back.
Am I close enough to her? Because, like, does it start from...
It starts at the machine.
Oh, okay.
So it goes from the machine and pushes back, and you make a dexterity saving throw.
Haha.
Oh boy, everybody else failed.
Can't hit me for a 22.
For a 22, we're going to say that same
I'm a
effect
cat.
pushes the cloud out and away from the machine, clears the room. As the cloud pushes out and you are clear vision, you see Zar, Gunther, and Flibbit even knocked to the ground.
Oh.
They all failed horribly.
Wait, does the unicorn have to make a saving throw?
The unicorn...
Or is he too big?
It's really big. I'm going to give it advantage. Rolled at 17 is good.
Oh, okay.
The unicorn holds his ground. It is now coming back around to your turn.
I am right next to Theodora, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
I grab her hand. Attempt to grab her hand anyway.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Are you just like grabbing it for effect, or are you trying to grapple her?
I'm trying to grapple her and pull her away.
Okay. Then it would be contested strength saving throws. We both probably have awful strength.
Mm-hmm. 21.
And so You grab her.
I grab her.
What's your plan? You
and
have a hold, and I will give you... Let me tell you what you do with grapple. Creature's speed becomes 0. It can't benefit from any bonus to speed. The condition ends if the grappler is incapacitated, and the condition also ends if an effect removes the grappled creature from the reach of the grappler, such as when a creature is hurled away by the Thunderwave spell, for example. You are holding her. She
Yeah.
is at 0. I think on her turn she can try to get out, but yeah.
And I step back just a little bit with her.
Okay, you
just-
move at half movement when you're trying to drag somebody.
I just want her slightly away from the computer.
Okay,
So that she
you
can't
are able
reach.
to do that. You pull her a little ways back.
I look at her and say, "You can't do this. I know you want her back, but think of what happened the first time. That happens again. It might be worse. It might not be just her that disappears."
Can you please roll for me again, persuasion or intimidation check?
16.
I'm sorry, sometimes people just aren't willing to be convinced, and this is a lesson in sometimes how the dice roll. She got a nat 20. You say that to her, you are looking in her eyes. Can you insight check with advantage, please?
15.
She is not seeing this. She is hearing your words, and yet they seem to be going in one ear and out the other. She is looking at you and also somehow beyond past you. And you get the sense that this is not probably something you are going to stop.
Okay.
And she says, it doesn't matter. None of it matters. If I can get the magic, then I can change anything. I don't have to worry about what happens to the world because I can fix that too. And she just has that little bit of a ravenous look of somebody who's gone a little too far off the edge.
Okay, so I used my action to grapple her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I only moved a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. Can I scan the monitors, the several keyboards, the controls for this thing? Is there a stop or a self-destruct button?
You're going to need to make for me a very high Arcana check.
4.
Like I've done to you
Horrible.
before, it's not so much that you don't notice it. It's probably more the dramatic moment of you realize you look at this and it's like, you don't know if you can stop this. You're actually kind of thinking Gunther might have the right idea.
Okay.
Tear it apart. Who knows?
I am still grappling her.
Yep.
And I have only moved a slight little bit.
Yep.
How tall are the columns that hold up the surged artifacts?
Oh, 10, 12 feet. Not like huge, but not like reachable either
Okay.
without a leap or something like that.
Is a leap an action?
No,
Like a jump?
your movement, but you can't be holding her and leap.
No. Which one is the nearest one?
I said you were near the cap, the hat. Once upon a time, it gave you images of the past world ruins.
Okay. I am going to push Theodora aside,
Push her aside.
if I can.
Okay. I mean, it counts as letting go of her, but yes.
And I would like to try and jump up to the pillar.
Okay. I believe your jump, if you let go of her, you have your full movement. So you can make, when you make a high jump, unless you have a cat thing for jumping, I forget. Well, you have a climb speed.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily need to jump.
Oh, yeah. I can just
So you
claw
just
my way up
you
this.
you pull out your claws, and yeah, you easily are able to climb up this thing with your movement. You kind of have used up all your actions, though, but you're up there. The hat is there. It seems to be connected with some wires to the pillar itself, and it seems to have a beam of energy kind of going towards the machine.
No, there's 5 other ones.
Mhm.
But that is probably my whole turn.
You're up there on a pillar.
That's
Theodora kind of gets knocked to the ground. She looks up. She's like, "Ugh." And it is the unicorn's turn. You cleared the room. I'm so sorry, but the unicorn is really focused on keeping the machine and everything good to go. And it now sees you up on the pillar, kind of like a golf ball on a tee.
Oh, no.
And the unicorn turns and faces you and is going to come over and try its charge attack again on you.
On the pillar? Or is it
Well-
that tall?
It's 20 feet tall.
Oh. So it can just reach me.
It can just reach you. And so it
Uh-oh.
rushes towards you. Can you please make another DC strength saving throw?
I'm terrible at strength. 5.
So you're reaching down for the cap. You're trying to grab it. Suddenly, you are hit with a squishy horn from this unicorn. But again, it blasts you backwards, which this time is like over the top of the machine.
Wait.
You're going to take a little bit of fall damage. And can you make a wisdom saving throw from the blind?
No. 11.
So you are blinded, and you take 6 points of damage
Ow.
as you hit the ground from being up on a pillar and falling off of it. And so Flibbit's like, you good?
Yeah.
All
She's rubbing her eyes.
Yeah,
Can you, yeah, you're fine.
I was going to say, he kind of already did what he could, which is give you a +4.
Yeah.
And so Flibbit's like, nobody hits my friend like that. And he is going to activate his stench spray. Finally. And he is going
Can
to hit the
unicorns
unicorn.
Smell?
It doesn't matter. And the
It's acidic
unicorn
stench.
fails miserably. And so Flibbit does 15 damage to this thing
Whoa.
as the acid from his stench spray attack kind of deteriorates some of the fur. More little spots of mist are coming out. This thing is starting to look pretty beat up.
Wait, am I blinded?
You are blinded.
I can't see anything?
Is the machine's turn. And again, it goes into the system itself. It is becoming more and more unstable. Can you roll again on the D8?
A 3.
A 3. And so this time things happen a little differently. The machine freaks out, arcs different magic things, hits the unicorn with a charge. The unicorn teleports 20 feet.
Wait, what if it teleports up?
Teleports 20 feet towards Flibbit.
Oh,
And it just appears that way. Things are getting very chaotic. Gunther's turn. He's like, Kia, I don't know if we could stay here. Things are getting bad.
we need to kill the machine or destroy it
Okay, I'll try.
or remove the power source.
He is going to once again punch with his thunder wave. 14 more damage.
Woo!
You notice that the machine is falling apart, but it's still pumping out wild magic. It's still going crazy. Czar looks at what's happening. He looks at the unicorn teleported away. He looks at Theodora.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "You're standing there like some martyr. I'm tired of the lies. We trusted you. Now I'm going to destroy what you love."
And he finally turns towards the machine. And he is going to attack. Goes right up next to Gunther. Gives Gunther a nod.
I nod.
This thing is slowly getting defeated. It is Theodora's turn.
I'm just on my back, still rubbing my eyes. Tail's probably so poofy.
Uh-huh. And she goes,
"Enough of this. I'm tired of you getting in my way."
and she is going to reach into her pouch and she's going to pull out a little cylindrical thing. She cranks a little dial on it and she throws it, and she's going to throw it towards Czar and Gunther.
Oh.
And you watch as this bomb hits the ground. Boom! And this wild magic explosion of that wild magic fire, kind of like that dragon had, explodes. And Gunther, of course, he gets a nat 20 on his dexterity saving throw. Czar, however, does not.
Oh, no.
Czar is blasted backwards. Gunther, we'll say, is able to see it coming, and he shrinks up in his shell. Czar takes 24 damage as this bomb, wild magic bomb, explodes in his face. Czar gets thrown backwards and is on wild magic fire for the time being.
Oh, no.
And Theodora moves back towards the machine. It is your turn. You are on the other side of the machine.
I'm blinded?
You were blinded. You were knocked prone.
I'm assuming this machine is loud, and I knew I fell next to it.
Oh, yeah, the machine, that'd be easy. I would allow you to try to hit the machine if that's what you're thinking.
Okay, that is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, you could also move, blinded. You automatically fail any ability checks that require sight, and your attack rolls have disadvantage.
Okay.
To do damage.
So first attack with a stab from the fork knife. No, a 10.
Oh, you did have bless? for the first attack.
2, so 12.
12 hits. Roll your
And a
damage.
stab for 10 piercing damage.
Ooh. Starting to break apart. As you break it apart, you will actually say, since you're kind of finishing your turn, you feel a blast of like wild magic cloud blast into your face, and it actually clears up your blindness as you go for that second attack.
Okay, I am actually going to end Zephyr Strike.
Oh, and do the big boom.
Do the big boom.
Okay, end of Zephyr Strike, you get your
So
Zephyr
I
attack.
got 17.
That hits.
All right. For first and foremost, with a swipe, 7
Okay.
damage plus 15 total damage from that attack. I got 8 extra force damage.
Wow. So you have done 169 damage to this thing so far. I had it set up at 182 health.
Oh,
So with 15 damage,
is that exact?
it's 2 points over. And so with this hit, as your vision starts coming back to you, this is the final blow on the machine.
I said it was with my spoon sword.
Mhm.
So I just wedge the spoon into the machine and pop it like a crowbar.
Pop it like a crowbar. You will say you pop off a panel. You see inside, kind of like you saw in the Coaster Chaos all that time back again. You see like this charge core. You see all these surged items are feeding magic into that point, and you take your spoon sword and you jab it in.
This might be a mistake, but
As you do this, the machine crackles with energy. It starts to rumble. It starts to charge up. A little bit's like, oh, Kia! And you watch as this machine rumbles and rumbles and rumbles, and it like explodes apart and then stops and then reforms and then explodes apart in a different direction, and it starts like freaking out and surging, and it keeps exploding out and then reforging, and it's like reality is struggling. And as this happens, this flashes are happening in the room, and it's like you're seeing the machine in front of you and the old machine. You're seeing 2 Theodoras, and we'll say finally in this moment, and the unicorn dissipates completely into mist, fills up into the sky. And the machine freaks out, starts flashing, starts pushing you back. You're having a hard time. You're like holding your ground as like wild magic waves are just pounding into you. You see Theodora rush over, and she's like, "No, I was so close. I won't let it end like this." And she grabs up those wires that you had chopped apart, and she just jabs them back into her arm. And as it is pulsing, you finally see that image again one more time of her, and she sees it too, of her kneeling down to her daughter running towards her. And you finally get a little bit of a better look. You see a little girl. You see she's wearing a cap. She's holding that unicorn by her hand. And she's going, "Mommy, Mommy, what's happening? What have you done?" And right as she yells that, she reaches out, and the blast once more happens. And this time you see Theodora, tears streaming down her face. And at that moment, the machine finally explodes. And you are hit with a blast of energy. You're right next to this thing. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Not good. 13.
A 13. You see this happen. Theodora try to do what she can. You see her tears. You see this image. It's clear that whatever she did the first time, it caused the surge. She was clearly working on something, working on some sort of alternate dimension portal machine. Who knows exactly what? And it explodes. What's your realization in this moment?
Can I, in this moment, use my detect portal?
What are you trying to discern? What are you trying to detect?
Is there currently a portal to a different place?
Absolutely, there is a portal, and it is at the center of this machine. And as you realize that, this is all happening in the moment, you are hit, and you are blown backwards. And you take 23 points of force damage as you are flung away from this machine. You still up?
Let me check. Barely. I have 9 hit points.
And so you are hit backwards so far that you slide to a stop against the wall. And you look over, Gunther in his shell, slammed against a wall like a hockey puck. Czar, Flibbit as well. All blown
Czar.
backwards. All of them saved.
So it's
so
just
they still
me.
take half damage. Czar is on his last legs, but he's still up. Flibbit also pretty hurt, but still up. Everyone's still up.
What about Theodora?
As it fades out, you see a exploded machine. There are
Yeah.
parts everywhere. The surged artifacts that were there, strewn around the room. The little pink unicorn lands next to you. You immediately notice that it seems removed of power.
Oh.
And in the center of the room, you see her tool belt.
Oh.
You see a piece of that thing that she had in her arm, but Theodora has been rent from existence. And at the center of the room, you see a little oval portal sitting there.
I look at everybody.
Yeah, Flibbit comes over. He's like, are you okay?
Hang on. I'm fine. Just wait. And I walk towards the portal. I do
Okay.
not
Yeah. Gunther stands
go
up.
close
and he's
to
like,
it.
Huh. Is it over?
I think
Okay. And Flibbit's like, portal?
flip it. And I grab him
Uh-huh.
and tug him forward
Okay.
next to me.
Okay.
Say, I think, is this where you're from?
Flibbit looks at it and he goes, oh, you think this is like a portal home?
Maybe.
And he flies up to it and he rushes over to it and he gets really close and then he stops. Like looks around it and scans around it. What happened to Theodora?
Well, I point to the tool belt on the ground.
Yeah, Czar walks over and he kicks it. He's like,
I think she finally got what was coming to her.
Yeah.
Not everybody can be redeemed.
and Gunther comes over and he puts a hand on your shoulder and just kind of lets what's happening happen. And Flibbit's like, wait, so I could go home if I wanted to?
If you want.
Oh boy. And he sits there and he pauses for a little bit. You know what? Looks like a flapjack.
Yeah, just like flat out. You're not wrong. A very colorful flapjack.
At about that moment, too, Gunther goes, look. And on one side of the tower, a wall has been broken out. And it's very reminiscent of your time in the scrape.
Oh.
A broken wall looking out across far-flung island. And Gunther goes over there and he's like, whoa. And
I want to look.
you go to look, Czar goes over to look, and as you guys look out, can you please make for me, potentially your last roll of the game, a perception check? Often how they begin and often how I'm going to end it with a perception check.
18.
18. Beautiful. Couple things you noticed. First and foremost, the fog surrounding Farflung Tower, gone.
Oh.
You can see the continent of Elsewhere
Oh.
from here. And you're looking out that way. You know, everything's very distant. It took a couple days, but you can see it out there. And as you're looking out that way, the wild magic cloud above you, gone. And you actually notice a land bridge that is going back over towards Elsewhere that 100% was not there before. And as you look out towards your home, towards the south end of Elsewhere, where the colossal cliffs had bordered forever, they are gone.
Oh.
And he points up at the sky. Flying down from up above is Glaciera, and next to Glaciera, Dragon. And the dragon is descending with Glaciera towards the tower. And Flibbit's like, so did we remake the world or something, or did we break it again?
Possibly both.
And Flibbit looks back at the portal and he puts a little tentacle on your shoulder and he goes, I think I'm right where I want to be.
Aw.
And
Flip it. And I squish him into a big hug.
Squish him into a big hub. And you see this dragon fly down and it lands down into the tower. Glaciera sitting on the edge, kind of like guarding it. And the dragon lands next to you and looks at the portal, reaches out a little clawed finger and touches it. Bing! And then turns towards you and Flibbit.
Are you responsible for this?
The creation of the portal or the...
This, and it gestures to the world around you.
Well, sorta.
What you have done here is both remarkable and dangerous.
Yeah.
I think it's high time we have a chat.
What?
And that is where we are going to end the campaign of Elsewhere. Just like we've done with every single other episode,
With a cliffhanger.
because maybe we'll come back to this world one day. The daughter is very shocked right now. Are you flabbergasted? The portal stable there, will it stay there forever? We don't know.
A whole new world to rummage.
You make your way down to the tower. Your teammates are there. There's this dragon that clearly is waiting to discuss things. Your teammates are fine. Calvacia, Maud, everybody seems good. And as you say, a whole new world to rummage. That is where we're going to end this story. So, what do you think, daughter?
Cliffhanger! I called you the master of cliffhangers for a reason, you know.
Hey, thanks. I thought it'd be good to leave it open just in case we come back to Elsewhere, because I don't think we're done with it. But I do think we're going to take a pause.
Wow.
So here's a question for you to improv. Just like I made you improv the very beginning about what your bedroom looked like. Where do you think Kia would go from here?
Back to Map's Edge.
Back to Map's Edge?
For a time.
For a time, okay. And then looking out at the colossal cliffs that are no more and the land that is beyond?
Yeah, I would go back to Map's Edge, and I would go up to a hill, a little ways off from town, one that has a gravestone on it,
Beautiful.
and sit next to it
Okay.
and look out.
And Gunther comes over at one point and he says, I think this is exactly what she would have wanted. New adventures. Wraps you up in a big hug. And we're going to fade off into the sunset overlooking Map's Edge. This is beautiful. There's a party down below and a conversation with a dragon to happen sometime in the future. Thank you all for listening to Campaign 1. We are going to be coming back with more new stuff.
New excitement, new flapjack recipes.
That's right. New sidekicks, all sorts of fun stuff. We will see you next week with an entirely new
Campaign.
and an entirely new episode of
Dadventurous.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about the post-campaign.
The epilogue,
The
so you say.
epilogue, so you say. Yeah, so you've defeated Theodora?
Question mark.
The question mark? A shot of surged wild magic shot out across the land, affected the world, but all those effects aren't completely known yet, right? You saw some of the obvious changes, but
It's still waiting to be discovered.
for a future time, maybe.
For a future time.
Only time will tell what the rest of Elsewhere holds. And only those bold enough to explore it.
Nice.
There it is. So that's what happened to the world. We know that Kia went back to Map's Edge with Gunther, looked off in the distance, an adorable last moment.
On the hill.
But we want to know a little bit about everybody else, right?
Yeah. What's
So
everybody else doing?
who do we want to start with?
Cabot.
Cabot Cranberry. This was your idea.
Yeah, I think that he might finally publish his book.
Finally finishes his book. We called it The Creatures of Elsewhere. We never came up with a subtitle. Creatures of Elsewhere. He publishes
Subtitle pending.
Yeah. And he becomes a even more famous author, I think. I like to think he buys an apartment in Athon and
Ooh.
he goes and visits Calvacia occasionally.
Aw.
What about Frogrick?
Didn't we say that he went off on his own, finished his apprenticeship with Cabot?
We decided that Frogrick, too, like his partner, like his mentor, wanted to go out into the world to research, but he decides he wants to make his own book on the effects of wild magic and creating variants like himself and Kia.
Aw,
So he's going to go be his own little researcher, I think.
nice.
So on that topic, should we talk about the mom's character too?
Sure.
Calvacia.
And here comes the mom to actually tell us what she's been doing. Calvacia, what have you been doing?
Well, Calvacia never really wanted to be going on any of these adventures with Kia to begin with. She's a very homebody, city-type person, but after going and being out in the world, she saw a lot of things that were interesting and new. She just didn't want to be out to go see them. So she decided to start working on the process with a lot of local vendors, but also reaching out to traders and rummagers from outside of Athon to start creating the first World's Fair for the entirety of the realm.
Oh.
So that's her new event that she's planning, and she's really hoping to bring everybody in and see all of the new interesting things without having to leave the comforts of her home and the lovely, lovely coffee that can be delivered to her daily if, she's home to drink it.
Nice.
That's what Calvacia is up to. Makes sense.
Daily takeout coffee.
Who's next? We got the Mojingle.
Oh, let's do the Mojingle on that topic.
Okay. Speaking of Cabot, the Mojingle saw much of the world with the help of Cabot and Frogrick, and his own kind of sense of wonder. The Mojingle saw a lot more of the world than he probably ever would have had he stayed in his cave just stealing things from the giant centipede beast, right?
Yeah.
That sparked something in the Mojingle, and I like to think one day he woke up, was hanging out with Cabot and Frogrick, and he goes, "Mojingle, go!" And he just walks off in a direction. And Cabot finally figured out that the Mojingle decided to set out into the world, the new, more open world.
A whole new world.
And see if he is in fact the only Mojingle of his kind.
Or if there are more out there.
Or if there are more. So I think that's where the Mojingle went.
Mojingle, go. Wait, does he go around anything? Or does he just walk in a straight line?
He does the straight line thing like in the D&D movie. Yeah, he always walks in a straight line, occasionally as an invisible blue fluff.
Nice.
Skrick the Goblin, after insulting Tsar Bloodhoof for the last time, the last time you saw him, he was wearing a 4-pointed hat, I believe. And I think he is down to a 5-pointed hat. And he has become the new waste management controller in Briarport.
Nice.
That's what I think.
What is he waste managing?
Mostly waste managing barrels. New laboratory, which we can talk about now, because she went back to Briarport, and she worked to rebuild her laboratory up on the hill, and she works closely with Greta and Grick, not Skrick, but
not
Grick, to advance the STEAM technologies of Briarport.
Nice.
That's what I think.
Engineering new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What about Mod? Let's do Mod.
Mod first, okay.
By area.
Mod, I think she decides to settle down. And so, but she doesn't stop rummaging necessarily.
She's going to start a little academy.
Mm-hmm.
Little Rummager Academy.
Rummager Academy. And she takes over Retail Ruins to do it, which is kind of nearby Briarport.
Mm-hmm. Teaching the next generation of adventurers.
There you go. I like it. Mods. I think Mod would be a good teacher.
Yeah. Who else we got?
Well, we got Carl and Brad. Course, but we might want to wait for them till almost the end.
We'll wait.
Czar and Harwick and Yasmin, of course.
Yasmin.
Let's start with Yasmin. Yasmin, the Bloodhound, decides to hang up her cloak. No longer, but instead, she decides to follow in Czar's footsteps. And she's going to become the assistant mayor of Scarlet Hill.
Ooh.
And she is the head of an important task force, which goes into Czar's thing.
So, as an apology, sort of, to the world. To the world. Czar, with the help of Yasmin, the assistant mayor, and Harwick, he has set up a... What was it called again?
We called it the Artifact Restoration Task Force.
Right. The ARTF.
Yeah.
Nice.
We wouldn't want to call it the Force Artifact Restoration Team.
No.
That's a worse acronym.
They set that up to help restore and return stolen past world items to their original owners.
Yeah, as best as
all
they
throughout
could.
elsewhere.
Yep, or donate those that cannot. And Scarlet Hill and Wanderwolf kind of become sort of this tag team mayor operation situation.
Also, Zar is taking therapy with Harwick to
Oh, yeah.
try and quell his rage.
Also, I think because it never got addressed again, Harwick has taken seriously to riding the Moto Wheeler because you left it in his care.
Oh, yeah.
And I like to think he uses it to zip back and forth to Scarlet Hill,
Nice.
and he's just living his best life.
I'm fine with that. Like, it's fine.
Oh boy.
Carl and Brad?
Carl and Brad, and of course,
Pinchy.
Pinchy, yes. So part of it is after they were freed from the fog, most people probably would have returned to mainland and
But-
counted it as being rescued, I think. But
But
not,
not Carl and Brad.
not Carl and Brad, who, with the help of their new crabby friend, we decided opened up a surf shop and a rental place called Just
Waves.
where they teach people how to surf the crazy waves of far-flung peninsula.
Also, they, following my advice, what was it,
You
Sunday
said
night?
once a month.
Once a month, they run a little entertainment routine.
The tap dancing show with Pinchy going click click, head shake.
And at the surf shack. And remember, folks, waves that crash against the shore. But until you just surf one, they're just
They're
waves.
just waves. That's right. I think before we do the last one, I want to talk a little bit about Theodora.
Oh.
So in the end, after the fight, I think you and your team, your friends, found journals, notes, references that confirmed your suspicions that Theodora did cause the first surge. The subsequent blast somehow made her long-lived. Those answers were never quite answered. Before the first surge, Theodora seemed to be attempting to create a portal to an alternate dimension,
But
and
it
it
went
went
haywire?
horribly wrong, and it unfortunately caused the death of her daughter, which sent the spiral.
Or perhaps the not death.
That's true. We don't know for sure. But in the time after the explosion, surge scarabs ceased to exist.
They just poofed.
They just stopped.
Huh.
However, wild magic storms still roam the countryside. How they were connected to Theodora, what they were, and how they were controlled remains a mystery for future times to be uncovered. And then the blast caused by exploding the machine basically erased Theodora from existence as far as we know.
As far as we know.
And I think in that moment, before we get to the last most important character, you see a turtle hand reach down and grab some of the daughter's drawings from a desk drawer,
Oh.
from some of her things, and Gunther decides to take some of Theodora's daughter's drawings of fantastical worlds with dragons and fun stuff back and hangs them up in the shop as kind of honoring what happened with Theodora.
Now, what has Gunther been doing
I think Gunther has
as the most
is
important
kind
character?
well, yeah. I mean, besides you, but we talk about what you're going to do. But I think Gunther finally is going to go back with a kind of a new outlook on life, a little bit.
Ah.
He's been stuck in the past for a lot of years, letting Tilda's death affect him to the point where he was just sort of
Going through the motions?
going through the motions. He was good at raising you and everything, but he was just kind of running the shop as Tilda would have wanted. But now with a kind of a new understanding of his wife and the world, I think Gunther decides to give Past World Plunders a big upgrade.
Nice.
Tilda always talked about wanting to expand and make it one of the best shops in Elsewhere, so Gunther finally commits to doing that. And I think in doing so, Past World Plunders becomes such a massively successful shop that Map's Edge turns from just a little trade hub roadside village over the next few years
To
into like a decent sized
Oh.
town, especially because it is no longer
On the edge of the map.
on the edge of the map.
Ah, but it is.
Edge
On the
of
edge of
your
the-
map, of the
on the-
known map.
Of the known map.
That's right. And so that is everybody that I think we remembered to write an epilogue for. There's some other characters, but the world goes on.
The world. Yeah.
Scrapers still exist. Past world ruins still exist.
Magic storms.
Wild
still
magic
exist.
storms still roam the countryside, maybe with a little less ferocity, whatever Theodora was doing to control them. And then we have, Kia and Flibbit deciding to go out there and what are you thinking?
A whole new world to rummage.
A whole new world to rummage. Maybe we'll come back one day to the Elsewhere story. Maybe we'll get Kia up to a higher level. I like to keep that in mind. But for now, we're going to move on to other things. So thank you for enjoying the Elsewhere campaign. And we'll see
you next time.
We'll see you next time, and we'll see what's next on
Dadventurous.